And that's where I'm happy to welcome in someone who knows all too well the importance of securing our borders, former Arizona Governor Jan Brewer. Governor, great to see you. Thanks very much for being here.
It's great to see you.
Now, Governor, I speak to law enforcement people quite often, DEA agents, state and local. When you were governor, you were getting real-time intelligence from those federal agents, your state and local law enforcement men and women there in Arizona. How did the president sound to you last night? Did you find his numbers accurate? And how big of an issue was drug trafficking on the Arizona border when you were governor?
Well, it has been a huge issue in the state of Arizona for years. It just didn't happen overnight, but now we know, and the president understands that we have a funnel coming through Arizona into the United States of drug cartels and drug trafficking. It is absolutely out of control, and anybody that you speak to on the streets, they've heard the reports, they know what's going on, they know the death count. And the president was spot on, and we are so blessed to have a president that is going to stand up and protect its citizens and enforce our rule of law in the United States. It's about time.
Governor, I have to agree. Some of these DEA agents I know texted me this morning. They said, forget the spin from the left-wing media. The president was, as you say, he was spot on with his numbers about the problems drugs coming across are posing. Now, you've been to the White House. You famously clashed with President Obama on immigration. What did you hear from Obama back then that's different than what you're hearing from President Trump now? And I have a question for you. Why do you think nothing has been done for decades to mitigate this problem, to solve this problem on the border?
I think we all can look at this situation that we've been facing for over a decade. You know, way back in 2009, I sort of started this fight, and it was no response from the federal government. They weren't listening to us. They weren't trying to attempt to even work with us. And then they turned around and they sued the state of Arizona, and me personally, by the way, and the Supreme Court said that it was the government's job to secure the border and immigration, and that it wasn't my job. The bottom line is that we have not had a president that has done anything, and President Obama just was absolutely tone deaf to my concerns, and we had numerous conversations about it, not only here, but on the tarmac, but certainly in the White House. We spoke. It's something that we are also grateful now that we've got President Trump, somebody that's going to stand up and call it like he sees it, and he's going to have the spine to back it up. So I believe that the majority of the people are very, very grateful that we have come to this, and I'm pleased to see the direction that he's taken. And he absolutely last night laid it out perfectly, the whole story. And the drugs are an abomination to our country and to our children, because from those drugs come all these other crimes, because then they have to come into our communities, and then the people have to buy them, and then they steal and they rob. And, you know, it's just, if we don't get our borders secured, we end up where we have been for so many years. It's the sex trafficking, and it's the drop houses, it's extortion, it's the cost of Medicaid for these people. It just goes on and on and on. We've got to get a handle on it. We need our border secured, and we need a barrier to start with.
Well, the White House, Governor, tweeted out a list of asks for border security. In addition to that barrier, the things they asked for were more Border Patrol agents, 1,000 more law enforcement people, more medical support. Do these requests comport with what the men and women of law enforcement were asking you for when you were governor, or is the White House going in a different direction here?
I think that some of those things we all believed. You know, the federal government and law enforcement have always been concerned because they've never had enough funding, and the overwhelming population of people that have been coming across the border puts a huge drain on it. I think that President Trump has put his finger on the issue, and that he's going to resolve it. And those are the things that we need. We kept saying we need more boots on the ground. We certainly need more money for humanitarian issues. Our facilities are too small. They're understaffed to even take the the people in with the families and stuff, and then we get beat up because they don't think they are being properly cared for. I mean, it's just a vicious circle. We have got to stand up and we have got to address the issue, and he's going to do it. And I don't think the president's going to blink. I think he's going to hold his ground and he's going to solve it once and for all.
Governor, we have a piece of sound of then Senator Obama giving his comments on the border on illegal immigration. Let's listen to then Senator Barack Obama.
The bill before us will certainly do some good. It will authorize some badly needed funding for better fences and better security along our borders, and that should help stem some of the tide of illegal immigration in this country.
Governor Brewer, we have that video and audio. We have video and audio of Chuck Schumer 10 years ago in 2009 demanding a barrier, praising how the 680, nearly 700 miles of barrier was reducing the illegal alien flow into the country. Why have Democrats all of a sudden changed their tunes? It's simply because Donald Trump is now president?
I believe that they are playing sheer politics, but unfortunately for our country, these people have this rhetoric going on, and they're moving the needle, if you will, in regards to what the real issue is. They want, or the liberals want, open borders. They want open borders, and they want to punch President Trump in the eye. They just are the party of absolutely no. They don't even come to the table and negotiate, and they change their tune every time anything is opened up. I hope that tomorrow that they have some serious negotiations and they come up with an agreement that will satisfy both sides. It's been too long, absolutely too long. Secure our borders.
Governor, before I let you go, let's talk about tomorrow. The president is set to visit the border in McAllen, Texas. What do you hope to hear from him?
Well, I think that he's going to be hopefully down there looking and seeing and checking things out. He's going to see that our borders are not secured. I've not been down to the border lately in Texas, but I know that here in Arizona, if we were at the border, we see the same thing that I saw 10 years ago. They are coming across the border in droves, the drug cartels, and our ports of entry are overwhelmed, and asylum seekers are beyond comprehension, and he's going to exhibit and see that, but it's going to show the public that our president, President Trump, is serious about the situation. I don't even recall President Obama ever coming to a border in Arizona, ever.
Jan Brewer, the 22nd governor of the great state of Arizona. Governor, thanks very much for your time and your insights. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more breaking news coverage, exclusive interviews, and great videos, click over here to our YouTube channel and subscribe. And don't forget to download the free Newsmax TV app. Newsmax TV, it's real news for real people.